So me working on the stay a little bit. I'm going to put him kind of in the middle, give him my stay cue here, and then just start small, just a couple steps over. I'm going to click while I'm away from him and then feed him with his head straight. So you got to be really careful there because he's turning his head to the left. I don't want to feed him out to the left, and then that kind of draws him over and he takes a step to the left or to the side. So I want to be careful with that. So now I'm just kind of mixing up the direction that I'm walking away from him in. I'll give my cue. And now I'm going over to the side, going about 3 steps, and he's pretty solid with like 3 steps pretty much all the way around him. Both of the Mustangs have really caught onto this lesson pretty quickly. With my miniature horse, Sebastian, he did not catch on quickly whatsoever. Dakota pretty quick, but I'd say that both of the Mustangs caught on very, very fast. And it's probably because they have like such a good foundation of clicker training versus the other 2 horses had a lot of negative reinforcement. That's just my theory, but and then I can build up here, so now he's totally cool with me walking all the way around him. You got to be careful with that. Like Atlas is generalizing well to this lesson, so he was doing well at like 3, 4 steps, and now I'm doing like many steps all the way around him. Like if I was doing this with Sebastian, he would have been really confused and he would walk off. So some horses need very systematic, like 4 steps, 5 steps, 6 steps. Here I can kind of break it into bigger pieces for Atlas, but that can't be happening for every horse. So I'm clicking as I'm going right behind him and then coming back and giving him a spoot. So I'm doing that is important as well because for 2 reasons. I want to make sure that he's used to someone going behind him and he's being reinforced as I go behind him kind of in his blind spot. Also because I want to kind of reinforce him about halfway so that I'm not walking all the way around and then clicking right when I get close to him. I'm clicking about right behind him and then coming to him so he knows the food is coming. So then here I give him his stay cue again, and then I went and got the bear. So now I'm just kind of adding it into our everyday just training, is just using that as a behavior, and that's worked really well, really well. That's really what I was looking for by teaching this, is just having it because it's easy and it's really handy. I use it all the time now. So that was really good little test for him because he was already kind of staying there, being reinforced for that. Then I just kind of threw in me going to get something. So now we're going to go ahead and just bring up the intensity with the bear a little bit. I just want to start putting it on his back for a little bit longer, moving it around, kind of putting his other leg over him. So I'm just going to hold it up for a couple seconds. I'm clicking while it's up there. He looks a little bit tense, a little bit more tense than I'd say in the last video where his head and neck was a little bit more relaxed. I do like that he's investigating the bear, but he just kind of looks just slightly tense. His body's kind of turned, like arced around a little bit, like he's just holding in some tension. And then the ears aren't moving quite as much once the bear gets up there. So just subtle things, and that's just kind of how Atlas is. That looks pretty good. He can have like a very little subtle tension, and then he'll just like step away or jump away. So I need to catch those little tiny things. So I definitely think having that start button cone would have definitely helped this. But I do like that I can just kind of toss it off of him, like here, like it's kind of on his front leg, and he's not really concerned about it. He's kind of moving his legs. See, he's like, but see, he's careful about it. He's thinking about it. He didn't just go and then pull his leg and run away. He had it there for a little bit. What I should have done is click while it was resting on his foot before he pulled it away. And then I could have also clicked at like after he'd taken it away because I like both of those behaviors. I missed some good opportunities there, but I do like that he stepped away gently and quietly. He didn't really like it, but he didn't like jump away and have this big reaction. He was still able to think through it. So that's a really big deal for him. So now I'm going to kind of toss the bear off of him, kind of behind him. So if I or someone were to fall off of him to the back, then I'm kind of practicing this. So it's like things go on your back and things fall off and they fall wherever. So that's super important. So it kind of lays on his hindquarters and then falls off. So this is great practice for that. Obviously, hopefully, I won't fly off like that, but you never know. So it's just much better to prepare and have the horse get used to these kind of things than not prepare and have a worse reaction. So now I can kind of lay it over and just kind of prep the legs over it, which we didn't do last time, so that looks great. Kind of just tossing it around on the ground a little bit more. I do like that he's interested. He's kind of sniffing the bear, looking at it, so I'm going to go ahead and feed him by it. I do like that. So this looks nice. Like a little bit of tension, but not too bad. Like he's wanting to touch it. He's wanting to interact, so At first he was a little bit more tight. He looks a little bit more relaxed here. He's got his head and neck a little bit lower. He's kind of looking at the bear. He's looking at me. So that looks nice. Oh, I do want to feed with his head away though. I don't want to create that like curling behavior where he curls his neck and looks like into my pocket. So I got to be careful with that. I straighten my arm off. Yeah, see, because I'm doing that though, because I'm taking way too long to break up my food, so I should have been prepared, broke up all my little pieces, and then fed him, because this is way too long before he has to be reinforced. And since this video is older, I was like waiting on getting the horse's head to be in the correct position, even though I've already clicked, instead of putting it in the position and feeding in the position you want the horse to be in. So those are mistakes that I'm making at this point, and that I've learned not to now, but I just wanted to point those out. And then I kind of flip him off the backside. So that looks pretty good. Again, I need to be careful with this because I've kind of ended up reinforcing with that head over. Same thing here though. I mean, it's a quick fix. It's just reinforcing with their head straight and continue to do that. But I've been reinforcing with his head turned slightly, so it's gotten a little bit worse. But the bear kind of touches his belly, and that seems pretty good. Kind of rolls off his back, touches his hindquarters. All of that looks really good. So we're making some progress with the bear. I just gotta pay attention to little details.